Hopefully this will get you out of your writing slump or unstuck from your current writing project. Our first exercise is to write a flash fiction piece that is a twist on a fairy tale. I got this idea from a drawing I saw on Tumblr that hopefully, if I remember, I will link because I do want to give credit to the artist. But it's where Rapunzel is using her hair to lure men into her castle only to murder them. Second exercise is to picture a scene or a person and try to describe them in 5 different genres. So horror, comedy, sci-fi, whatever you want. And to kick it up a notch, you can also try to use all of the senses except sight. This next one got me through my poetry workshops because for some reason I can't tell myself or have a teacher tell me, hey, there's this chair, write about the chair. I mean, I could, it wouldn't be that fun. But if you tell me to write about obsession, I can throw that on the chair. I can tie an abstract to a concrete. So your challenge is to write a poem about a word without saying the word. Some of my favorites are obsession or jealousy, captivity, grief. The world is your oyster. I like to call number 4 the Hemingway effect. What you need to do is write a 300 to 500 word piece of dialogue between 2 characters. You're only allowed to use 3 dialogue tags and no additional description. I love this one because it just breeds subtext and tension. You're like, ooh, I wonder what happened before this scene. Number 5, write a myth. Write one that explains why the sun rises and sets. Write one that explains what happens to us after we die. But if you need a list of myth prompts, I will put them down in the description. Our second and last one is called a triggering town. And I know, I'm sorry. It is a lot more fun than it sounds. It's part of an article that I had to read in my poetry class about a triggering town and how your triggering town is your hometown. In the article that I will link in the description, Hugo says, your triggering subjects are those that ignite your need for words. When you are honest with your feelings, that triggering town chooses you. In this one, you need to write a poem or a short story where you take the audience around a town, fictitious or not, and show them all its oddities and horrors. I once wrote a poem for class about a school for the hedonistic and pyrophilic that balanced atop a point on Mount Everest where virgins wore blue and you could buy mermaids the size of whales on the black market. So, have at it. Last but not least, your challenge is to take a minimum of 3 genres that you hate or you're just not very good at and make a short story out of it. Bonus points if you can also add in tropes that you're not very fond of and then flip them on its head. This was one of my favorite assignments that I had to do for my very first creative writing class, and I wrote a gothic Western sci-fi where we had horses in submarines trying to grow genetically modified fruit. Yeah. Alright guys, that's all the writing challenges I have for you today. Hopefully that helped and got you at least a little bit inspired. If you want to check out my writing, a link to Truth Weekend will always be in the description. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I'm Erin, I make videos eventually, and I'll see all of you lovely people in my next one. Bye!